extended stretch. I know the hiccup Saturday, but just to have this stretch of just being here in the Twin Cities for the week.
Can't really put a price or and a value on sleeping in your own bed, especially being on the road so much. That comfort of being in your own home, having your family around, all those things are invaluable. And to me, it's huge, especially for us, to build momentum. You know, in the playoffs, the one thing you want to have is home court advantage, and that allows us to continue to work on areas that we struggled in while being in the comforts of our home and working our ways to that.
Nickeil, how do you just see where this team is at right now? I mean, you've been playing better, it seems like, overall. Obviously, not the result you wanted on Saturday, but just in terms of trying to climb the table like that and get into that conversation for home court advantage, those things are your chances right now.
I think we're doing really well. I think, with the exception of Saturday, and also that being a real first game with a bunch of injuries, like, so far our best ability has been our availability, and it hurt not having our main guys, but all season guys have stepped up. Jaden played amazing, Rudy did his job. We just didn't get a few shots to go, a few stops that we needed. 2 possessions differently, that game goes a different way, and now we're looking at possibly tying for 6. So I think it's about our perspective and our paradigm into the next few games, but also controlling what we can, trying to take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of us. Like, one, we have an opportunity to put together a few home games and stack some wins together. We were just on a win streak, and I think we can build back up. But having Ant back is going to help us. Everyone's ready to go, and we're just going to do what we can. You got to grow. You got to be put in positions that are going to be uncomfortable, positions that may be unfamiliar. For me, it's not unfamiliar. I think when you date back to, like, my early New Orleans days, those are games that I've played in and done well, and multiple times I've had high-scoring games. So I think it was just about being prepared for those. That's why you work hard. That's why I train specifically. Whenever I'm needed, for my name to be called upon, and I can be effective for this team. I know everyone in this gym, when they work out, they don't just work out for the hell of it. I believe everyone is working out to help us, for one, but also themselves as individuals to become better players. And that moment arose, and it's going to continue to arise. We got guys out. Since Dante's been out, we've seen what Rob's been able to do. He's been staying in the gym. He's been dedicated, and people love him. And we see why. He's been effective and helpful for us.
What have you made of the many trades, but especially Luka, the big trade?
Just a lot of surprise. You know, shock. Came out of nowhere. If it was random, you know the NBA. So sometimes trades aren't as spur of the moment as you think, and sometimes they are. So I think for me, it was just like wondering how spur of the moment was it, and like if it wasn't, then it's pretty impressive that no one knew till that very moment.
Where were you Saturday night when you heard the news?
I was just at home, trying to shake off that loss.
Just like, are you checking your phone? Like, is this real?
No, I don't have Twitter on my phone. So when I got the text, I remember our group chat was just wondering if Shams had gotten hacked. I thought it was pretty funny that he had to follow up with a tweet saying, yes, this is real. Like, to me, that just shows you how much of a shock it hit everybody. Yeah.
You've been traded at the deadline before, with the deadline looming this week. Does that change anything for you personally, or is it just another game or two?
Another game or two. At this point, I'm numb to it. It's a business. I've done my part, and I'm just going to continue to do my part. I feel like grateful for any opportunities I have. I'm grateful for Minnesota and all that they've done for me since I've got here. So the business calls, and it's unfortunate. I love it here, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to be able to adapt in this league, and that's what's going to continue to propel guys forward. Is how quick can you adapt? Can you adjust? being versatile, adapting is something that I've laid my hat on and found a niche in. So,
Nickeil, obviously surprises can happen, but can you usually have a feel within a team of like, hey, something might happen versus something might not? It seems like around this group right now it's fairly stable, and maybe there's not quite the thought of a big move coming.
yeah, honestly, one thing I feel like every year it's the same thing throughout the league. You're kind of like, oh, it's been a quiet deadline, and then boom. And then now we're looking around, and you know, every team was kind of waiting for that first one. It's like when you're in high school and you're waiting on that first offer, and once you get the first one, next thing you know, here's 11 more. And so I think for us, it's just, you know, continue to come to work every day, be present, control what you can control, and let the chips fall when they may.
This kind of like trade deadline week within a locker room, just in terms of seeing deals go around. Maybe you guys are just wondering what happens. How do you manage that?
You know, it's something you try to ignore it, but it's hard to, you know, as a player. When you see guys around the league getting traded, you know, we're all, you know, available to be traded at any point. So you just try to focus on what you're doing on the court, focus on the games that you have in front of you. At the end of the day, you don't have control over what happens. If they want to trade you or move you, they will. So as pros, we have to come in and do our job and try to block it out.
Is that feeling of like, you know, anyone can be traded even more prevalent now? I mean, if Luka gets traded from Dallas, like, who could not be, I guess?
Right. I think we all text the group. I said, man, put your ringers on loud just in case, you know, just be ready for whatever, because I mean, when you see something like that, it was such a surprise to everybody. I think that you know, two of the most untouchable guys I think out there, and AD and Luka. So for all of us, it just puts us all on alert and just try to get through it.
You guys play the Kings and Bulls coming up. Obviously, you're both involved in a trade. How difficult is it to play after your team makes a trade, or if you're the player being moved? How difficult is that?
It's an adjustment. I think teams accept it differently. I think some teams have been wanting a trade and needed something fresh, and when a trade does happen, it kind of rejuvenates them, and it can be done by, you know, addition or even by subtraction. You know, you can kind of you lose a guy, but it seems like it's not a good thing. But for the guys that are currently on the roster, they play better and you know, more efficient together, and they become, you know, a much better team. So you don't know exactly who you're going to get when you play against those teams, and so you just got to be prepared for you know, whatever they throw at you.
How advantageous is being home all week? Nickeil said you can't put a price on it. I mean, you know, being in your own bed and all that, and just the grind of the season. You guys haven't had like a real extended stretch of being home.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think we've been looking forward to this stretch. Like you said, we've been bouncing in and out of you know, from being home and away, and being able to just get a routine again and being somewhere comfortable, being in front of the home crowd, being in front of our families. All that's just you know, comfortable for all of us. I think it'll kind of rejuvenate guys a little bit.
Is it that time of the year where guys need a rejuvenation?
I think so. I think, you know, end of January, early February, it's like, you know, dog days. You know, it's cold. It's, you know, everything's hard. Everything is, you know, guys are injured. You know, everybody's banged up across the league. You know, so it's a time where guys got to kind of toughen it out, and get through it. And the best teams do that.
Like Finch was saying the other day that like he feels this team just in general sort of has its feet underneath it a little bit more and knows what can be repeatable, what you can do on a nightly basis. I mean, Saturday aside with all the injuries, but do you feel a little more stability just in what you guys have over the last month or so built here?
Yeah, I think we've kind of set the table of what we expect from ourselves going forward, and we've seen ourselves do it now for you know, a month or so. We've played a good brand of basketball. We've had some losses here and there, but for the most part, we've done a really good job of being consistent in the areas we need to be consistent in, and our identity on defense, our identity offensively, how, you know, the kind of pace we want to play with, how we want to move the ball, and we know, you know, our strengths and weaknesses. We know we don't want to turn it over. We want to box out. We want to get back, you know, on defense, all those things, and as long as we work on those and continually work on them, I think we'll continue to trend in the right direction.